well. Good to meet you, Shane.
Beautiful. Great to meet you too, David. I've got to say that when you jumped into this or dived in, as a producer, was there any stress? Because there's a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs going to be watching in anticipation for this series.
I'd say there was more excitement than stress because there's nothing more reassuring than to have a talent like Noah, much less a track record that he has, but to have a creator come to the table with such a clear and certain vision of the stories he wants to tell and why, and also someone who had such not only reverence for the original, but an appreciation of the experience he had in watching the original that he really wanted to provide for viewers of the series while telling his own very original story.
What about yourself? Did you have an experience of any of the Alien movies when you were a kid?
I honestly was so frightened by the marketing when I was a kid that I did not go see it. And I've worked for Ridley for 24 years now. I did not see the movie till I worked for him because I'm not good with horror. It kind of scared the crap out of me. So I got to see it at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, and I'm okay with it. But it's I'm glad I didn't see it as a kid.
The sets look elaborate, the costumes detailed, and I've only seen one episode so far, but did you stay under budget? Was there an unlimited budget maybe?
It was definitely not an unlimited budget. That's not the time that we live in. Look,
True.
that's always the healthy friction. To your point, one of the ambitions that Noah had was to really capture the aesthetic of the original. He literally did build the same set or a version of that set that Ridley
Yeah,
had from the Nostromo, and that
yeah,
was important, I think, both to really hopefully provide some confidence in inviting the Alien fans, saying yes, we very much are embracing what Ridley crafted, and then Noah takes his pivot to really fill out sort of this world of Earth that we've only sort of heard about in a nascent way in the films, but had no idea sort of what the corporate structure, what the societal structure of it might have been.
yeah.
Um, and so that became sort of the important footing upon which the story then gets told.
You just mentioned Ridley, did the great Sir Ridley Scott visit the set at any point?
He's not a set visitor. I think, in all the productions we've done, he's only done that once, and that was
Right.
at someone's insistence when we were in Europe.
Yep.
The last thing he wants to do is get in front of another filmmaker, and that was the case here as well. He and Noah had some very good conversations early on.
Yep.
Ridley's always rich with an anecdote or two. He loves telling his stories. But he told the story he wanted to tell, and so I think Noah was able to sort of draft that expertise, draft some of that inspiration. But it's really more in sort of a consulting and support capacity. The
Sure.
thing I think we tried to also offer Noah is we've had some ample experience with some very large world building productions, and this was of a whole new scale for Noah. So it was a wonderful partnership in that regard, but it was really all working in coordinated effort to fulfill the vision that Noah had in mind.
Yeah, it looked like it was collaborative all round. How did you come across this script and the series itself? Was it presented to you, or did you go and seek it out?
No, over the years, because our feature deal has been at Fox for as long as I've been at the company, and we've been pitched Alien and Blade Runner series before. It was really not. It was a no-go zone, um, mostly because it was hard to envision one ever being able to do it credibly on
Sure.
television. But I think the other part of it is it always begged the question of why. You don't make it just because you can. There has to really be, from a story and character standpoint, something that compels you. And I think in watching both movies since we finished the series, it's been very striking to me to see how really intimately aligned the two of them are. And yet Noah is telling a story that is clearly derived from the themes and ideas that are rooted in the original film, but he's
Yeah.
venturing off into some really exciting terrain with the story that he's telling. So, I mean, the Ridley interaction, I think, was a very positive one. He was certainly stunned to see his ship and to see Mother and all of those rooms come to life
Exact.
again. I mean, it was, I don't want to quote him because it was an expletive part of it, but I mean, and I've tried to imagine in his own head, he was sitting in small rooms with Giger and others literally designing this. And 46 years later, to have another filmmaker sort of resurrect it, but not in movie form. Now it's in a whole nother storytelling medium. And that's just pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Uh, was it always going to be a series? I mean,
It was.
after the success of Romulus, no thought of another movie?
Well, I think the film side is continuing to explore what they want to do there. But John Landgraf and Gina Balian at FX, I mean, John's had his eye on this for a long time. We've never done a series based on any of Ridley's movies before. This is the first, and
Yeah.
what one to undertake. But John has been pursuing this for a very long time and had met with Ridley and talked about it because of his historic relationship, that being John's with Noah and the success they had with Fargo. John, it was
Yeah.
as simple as John saying, "Do you have an idea in this space?" And Noah was like, "I will get one." He brought that forward, and then he and John shared that with us, and then we began the journey together from there.
And 8 episodes. Is that an extended, or was it meant to be six, or was it always going to be eight? Because some series, can outstay their welcome, but there was enough content here for eight,
I
obviously.
mean, we were originally talking about 8 or 10. I think that's where we started getting into looking at how the show laid out, and then there was just
Yeah.
the fiscal reality as well. This is I think as you were mentioning earlier, that's something one has to sort of assess and calibrate.
Yep.
It's not just obviously a big production and construction undertaking. It's a huge sort of visual effects um, effort.
Oh
And
yeah.
so while we were even going through the process, you're constantly sort of assessing. It's like we wanted to make sure that it's not a show that would overstay its welcome, that we had 8 taut episodes that really climaxed. And I mean, in some ways, the hardest thing to do, other than that open, is to sort of land that plane at the end of the season and then take it off again, so people are sort of breathless for season two. And I think Noah's really achieved that.
And I believe that new viewers, you don't really need to be across the Alien legacy to watch it. Do
You
you
don't at
believe
all.
that too?
Yeah, and that was also part of Noah's thinking when he decided to sort of correspond this idea with the
I thought
original.
so.
You can watch it, but you don't need to have seen any of them. And yet, it just in some ways informs your experience if you have, but narratively, it's not necessary.
So I know that a lot of the actors are using their natural accents, which I think is fantastic. Do
Yep.
you think Alien Earth will ever make its way down under to Australia?
I would have been happy. I've been trying to shoot in Australia for I can't tell you how many years.
Right.
We keep coming close, but we haven't landed there yet. I know Ridley shot there.
Yeah.
But we've been trying to bring series there. I would be very happy if that would happen one day, or perhaps if we're fortunate enough it's successful and we get to spin off the series. But right now we're just taking it with what's in front of us.
Now you talk about behind the scenes and trying to recreate the legacy and the original sets and so forth. Were there storyboards, and the sound design as well was just incredibly familiar to
Yeah.
everything. So it was the details and the costumes, just terrific. Was it storyboarded like the old school ones?
Sequences are. I mean, Ridley storyboards everything. It wasn't as extensive as that, but it's a lot of the sequences definitely required that because
Yeah.
of the complexity. But I think what you're acknowledging, which is really reassuring to hear, is that's also the benefit of sort of those core creatives that Noah has historically worked with. I mean, Dana Gonzalez, his DP, Jeff Russo, his composer. There are many in sort of his environment, which Ridley has as well, who have a real symbiotic relationship with Noah. And so it was something that really struck me when we even got to the sound mixing stage, how sophisticated, advanced, and clearly intentioned that whole sound design was. I cannot say I've sat on a stage before where it was of that specificity and of that potency. And you could, I was talking to a couple of mixers about it, and it's just because some of the people that know has also worked in editorial, Regis and some of the others he's had a long history with, they
Yeah.
channel one another really, really well. And so it just lifts the whole production up to a whole nother level. And a show like this, I think you can feel the impact of that.
Oh, the sound to me was absolutely astonishing. Bravo, I've got to say. Everything was, but the sound design is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see it on the big screen as a result because then you really get that immersive experience.
Yeah,
Hopefully, you have some great speakers in your home.
I do, I do. And to wrap it up, casting, I mean, did you throw the net around the
We
world?
did send a global net. Good to speak with you.
You too, mate. Thank you.
Take care.